Hello and welcome to this video on how to get the most out of using Yacht Manager by using the setup screens. Now usually what we do when we use the setup screens is just after we've created a new log, but you can do it just about any time. To get to the setup screens, you go up here and you go to the options menu and click, and then you go down here to setup and click once with the left mouse button. Now the first page that comes up in setup is the primary owner information screen. And down here we can put in any information about the owner that we want to put in. Well, let's start putting some information in there and see what happens. You notice as soon as I try to type in that field, I get this little warning message that says you must click the Edit Navigator button on the top of this page to change any of the fields on the setup screen. Oh, okay. Well, in the previous lesson we had talked about the log navigator buttons, and up here we have some log navigator buttons, and you notice if you mouse over this one right here that's enabled, you see that it says edit setup, and that's what we want to do. So we're going to click that once with the left mouse button. Okay, now we go back down here and we click in the owner's name field, and we'll put in the owner's name and their address, the city, the state, country, postal code, their passport number, and the passport expiration date, and finally their telephone number. Okay, now once we have all that in there, it's still not saved. So we need to go back up here to the log navigation buttons, and we mouse across them, and you see this one here says Save Setup, and this one says Cancel Changes. Well, we want to save the setup, so we're going to go back here. We're going to click once with the left mouse button, and now we have this information saved. The next thing we're going to want to do is enter information about our engine. Okay, we're going to go in here and we're going to click on the sub buttons down here. We're going to click this one called, noticeably enough, Engines. And the next thing we need to do is select the fact that we only have one engine. It's already selected. That's nice. If we had two engines, we would select here, and now we have room to put in two engines. In this case, we only have one engine. Alright, the very first thing is the engine make, and we're going to type in here, but first before we type in, we're going to go back up here to our log navigation buttons, and we're going to select the edit button, and then go back down here, and we're going to enter in Perkins. And the starting hours on our Perkins, well, the Perkins isn't too old, but it's not too young either. It's at 4,315 hours. And our current hours are all our current hours though is 4,561 hours. Okay, 21 hours, 61 hours. There we go. That's what I wanted. And the engine serial number, we'll put that in. Okay. We press the tab again. We move down here to the engine model. Well, let me see. We have what's called a 4108. Number of cylinders is 4. What kind of oil do we use in the engine? Well, we use 30 weight diesel. Next field is transmission type. Okay, I'm not sure what to put in there. Let's say we put in hydraulic. I'm probably misspelling that. And the model number, I don't have that yet. So let's. Oh, I know. Let's put it in here. The type. I don't know what the model is right now. And this is also going to use 30 weight diesel oil. And down here is some important fields. It's asking us how much fuel does the engine use per hour. Okay, well let's see. My Perkins 40108, it uses about 0.68 gallons at about 1400 RPM. And the last field that we tab down to is notes. And in here we would put anything that we wanted to keep track of, like for perhaps the engine oil filter number, the transmission oil filter number, anything if there's shift cables, what is the number, in case you ever have to order them. Right now we're not going to put anything in there. So again, we'll go down here now to the propeller area, and we're going to click in here to propeller number 1, the size. We'll only have one. It's a 12-inch, and the pitch is let's say 11, and the rotation is right hand. Okay, and the number of blades is 3. And we don't need to worry about this last thing down here, which is clear all markers, because we don't have any markers to clear yet. We'll go into markers later. Anyway, we look up here through what we've put in and make sure everything looks okay. And now we click the Save button up here, and to save it, we click Save. Alright, now the information on our engine is saved. The next item we want to deal with is the vessel information. And to do that, we would click this button right here, the vessel button, and that takes us to this screen where we enter all kinds of information about our vessel, such as vessel name, ID number, radio call sign, hailing point, port, vessel, whoever built the vessel, the model of the vessel, year, so on. And then we'll take you all the way down here to the number of crew, and then I'll put that in, and then we'll get started again. When we get here to the tanks area, right in here, total fuel, water capacity, working tanks, etc., we need to click this button right here called the tanks button. Click that once, and this brings up the vessel tanks dialog, and this is a way, and you have to use this a certain way, and we'll show you right now. Okay, the next step is to enter tank information about our vessel. This could be fuel tanks, water tanks, any other kind of tanks. So we're in edit mode, so we're going to go on here, we're going to click the tank button, which brings up the tank dialog, which allows us to add tanks to our vessel. Alright, first of all, we're going to go up here to this navigator button, just like always, and click the plus sign. That'll start a new record. We're going to call this tank 1, and we say it is a fuel tank, and we're going to say that it's a 75-gallon tank, and it currently has 75 gallons in it. Yes, this is an engine working tank, means that's where the engine is drawing its fuel. Okay, so we select that. It's not a generator working tank, so we say that's not true. And we go down here to the tank location. In this case, it's on the starboard side, forward. And the fill location is the same thing, starboard side, forward. Alright, when everything looks right, we go up here and we click this button here to save the changes, and we'll click that. Now those changes have been saved. Now if we were to go back to the vessel setup screen, you'll notice that tank information is now in here for fuel tank, and you have an engine working tank of 75 gallons. Now I've kind of jumped ahead and gone back into the tank information and added some more tanks so that we don't have to go through each one. But you can see here that we still have this tank here as an engine working tank. Fuel tank 2 is also a generator working tank, and we have a water tank, and we have a holding tank that we're keeping track of. Now I press the close button here, and again you see that those tanks are reflected in here. We've got our water tank, and then we got our engine working tank, a generator working tank. Well, now that I've got the tankage information in here, I've also gone over here and entered this other information on this side: the length, the draft, the beam, height, length of water line, length overall, and so on. And I've also gone up here and I've checked that we're a sailboat and not a power boat. And the very last thing you want to do on the vessel information page is you want to go up here and you want to click the save button. Click it once. Okay, we've saved that information. The next screen you're going to want to deal with is the generator water maker setup. It's right here. You click this button, brings up this screen here, and here's where you enter information about your generator. I only have one generator, and first of all, make sure we're in edit mode. Now we're going to go down here. We're going to enter we have a Northern Lights, and the model number is B. And this is important, approximate fuel use. Now mine uses approximately 0.45 gallons per hour. And we don't have a second generator, so we just tab down through these. Go down the water maker, and I do have one. I have a Little Wonder. And I think it's a Little Wonder 120. And I don't know what the serial number is. But here's the important part. I want to know what the gallons per hour output is. Well, on mine, approximately, it's about 6.5 gallons per hour. And there's a place for notes if you want to put in special things about your water maker or your generator. But otherwise, you just go up here and again click the save button. Now, the very last screen you're going to set up is your Dinks and Toys screen. It's a setup right here. Dinks and Toys. Click that once. And it comes up there. Now, I've already filled all this in for you to save some time. In my case, I have an Aqua Pro. It's a 10 rib, and the hull number. The engine on it is a Mercury 15, and there's the serial number of the motor. The reason this is important is what if your dink is ever stolen? And this could be important information to give out. And in the notes area, you notice I've put in that it's a 2-stroke outboard. That's important because I need to mix oil with my fuel. And any other notes, or like if you happen to have a surfboard or any kind of water toy that you might want, you want to put some information down here about it. Anyway, that's the setup screen, and now your program is set up for your vessel. Thank you very much for watching this video, and this is Alan Wynn of OSO Software, and thanks again.